Good morning. Some of the things that people have requested when looking at my videos is they wanted to see more of me. So today I thought I would do a video of smoking a pork shoulder. I've got a 6.5 pound pork shoulder right here. I'm going to put a rub together, put it in the pan, put it in the smoker, and I'll show you pictures of that process as we go along the way. I've got my ingredients for my rub here. I'm going to mix my ingredients together in a bowl, get the pork shoulder out, and start rubbing it down. Alright, I've got my dry rub mixed up, ready to go. Needs a little final stirring to get it evenly mixed. It consists of hot paprika, salt, garlic powder, cumin. I did not put dried oregano in there, I passed on that. Cayenne pepper, black pepper, white pepper, ginger powder, onion powder, light brown sugar, seafood seasoning, that was Old Bay, and dry mustard. That was a combination of two recipes I found on the cooking channel. Then we'll get it in the smoker. While it's setting with the dry rub, kind of coming up to room temperature, we'll go outside and get the smoker going. Probably need a little better knife, a pair of scissors or something here. Alright, I'll spend a few minutes washing up and patting this down, getting it ready to go. And then we'll get back to the dry rub. Okay, I've got it patted dry and in the pan. I'm going to start sprinkling a little dry rub over it. And then I'll transfer it to a rack to get it up out of the pan. And the pan will collect the juices. Let the smoke get to it all the way around. I should have crunched up my brown sugar a little bit. It's in lumps. And I figured out that I did not buy a bone-in pork shoulder, which would have been desirable. This has been cut into pieces, removing the bone, so it makes it hard to handle instead of being in one piece. Alright, that's a good start. Let's try to flip this over. That looks pretty good. Try cutting through some of this fat cap here. And that will let some of the rub get down into the meat and help the fat render out. And in theory, that fat will render into the meat. Should have done this before I put the rub on. Got a little carried away. Okay, we've got our wood chips here that have been soaking. We're going to fill up our smoker tray. I'm using a combination of chips here. I haven't decided which I like best. So it's a little mesquite, a little hickory, a little sweet maple, a little bit of everything in here. Alright, let's move out to the smoker. I want to give a shout out to Donald at the Jacksonville Elks Lodge for giving me the smoker. Alright, that looks like that'll work. Okay, this is an electric smoker. We're going to be smoking at 250. It'll take it just a few minutes to get up to temp after having it open. And then we're going to be smoking for about 6 hours. About halfway through, I will put in some more wood chips. And about 5 or 6 hours, I'll start testing for doneness. Time to check and see where we're at. Been about 6 hours, 5 or 6 hours. Whew! Heat and humidity look crazy. Oh, it feels tender going in. 166, 69, 70, 72. So we're up to 10 for the most part. 171. 172. So it's time to wrap it and cook it some more. Got some gloves here so that I don't burn myself. And I'm going to lift the rack up and try to put the meat right over on the foil. Oh, this big piece of foil. That's okay. We're going to wrap it a couple of times. So we're going to put it back in the smoker for another 3 or 4 hours. I'll continue cooking for another 3 or 4 hours until the internal temp gets up to 205, which is the recommended temp for pulled pork. Right now it's about 170, which would be tender and cooked in most circumstances, but I think we want to cook it a little longer to get it to a completely tender stage. I'm growing impatient here. It's been 8.5 hours, so I'm going to check the temperature and see if it's done. $205, 7. We are done. I'm not going to check anymore. It's ready to cool down for a couple of hours, and then we will pull it. I'm going to transfer the shoulder to this pan, and I'm going to pull it in. It looks like it's going to come over in pieces. Okay, that'll work. Already washed my hands, and I'm not going to use any gloves or forks or tools, I think, to pull this. I don't know, I might try a couple of forks. Let's try that. It might be a little easier because it's still kind of warm, and it is falling apart tender. So that is good. And I've got some juice that I reserved from the grill. So we will add that back to it, assuming it tastes okay. Portion it out in individual portions. If not tonight, tomorrow. It's 9:30. So I put this on at about 11 o'clock this morning. It's been an all-day deal. Cooked it about I think it was 8.5 hours, and then let it cool for a couple hours. I will sample a little piece in a minute to see what it tastes like. If there's any big pieces of fat in there, like right here's a piece of fat, probably going to pull that out. I don't want that in the finished recipe. Peels apart right there. That is the definition of pulled pork. When you take it and you just peel it apart in strings. It's been a long day. My back is about giving out. I am ready to wrap this process up. Got some crispy burnt parts there. We're going to have barbecue for a while here. Section this out tomorrow into individual bags and freeze it. And I can pull out a serving or two at a time. Heat it up. Make sandwiches. Make something out of it. That is looking good. Smells good too. Tastes good too. This is some of the Jew that came off of the smoker. I'll pour a little bit of that back on it for the smoke flavor. All right, I think I'm gonna call that quits for tonight. All right, barbecue pork is done. A little cleanup, need to wash some dishes, put the grill away tomorrow. 9:30 at night, 12 hours invested. Time to call it night. And we have the finished product. Yum yum.